So I went to bed hungry and woke up starving, so it is pre-dawn, coffee and mashed potato time. Cold is basically when my fingers get frozen because I have to be out of the sleeping bag editing the videos. I'm going to have Jen send my fingerless gloves back as soon as she can. Cold enough that my cleanup water is freezing here. I've been hearing something big moving around over there, but I haven't caught sight of anything. Normally I'm a fan of putting on outer layers instead of under layers so I can de-layer easier, but my pack is basically just about as empty as it gets this morning. Food, I literally have a little bit of peanut butter and 1 bar to get me out. My fuel was running out during my second cup of coffee this morning. I was worried I was going to get potatoes, but no second cup of coffee. And yeah, pretty much down to dregs. Which I'd be happy about, except for I've been not getting enough food for the last couple of days. But things are looking up today. The good news is, per the forecast that I pulled yesterday, it's supposed to warm up now. It's only going to be in the low 30s instead of the high 20s. I did cross the 1,500 mile mark. I'm about 30 miles shy of the actual, numbered CDT southbound mile markers. Just due to, I keep track if I go on that Grizzly road closure, any of the detours, and any of the alts. I'm trying to keep as accurate a count as I can. The gut hook maps are only 2,900 and change, so I'm probably a little over halfway. In addition, there's some things up ahead I'm not sure if I'm going to get to do. I may have to take the Creed cut off instead of go around the bend in the San Juans. And I was actually really hoping down in New Mexico to be able to do the Black Hills, the red line, where everyone else does the Gila River. But I hear that may be closed due to fire. So we'll see. I seem to be forming a thing for the seldom done alternates. Well, actually it's the seldom done red lines out here, because certain alternates are basically the official trail in the Gila River at this point. I can't think of a single person I've seen who's done the other one. I had somebody leave a comment who said of all the people they had seen do the CDT and post YouTube videos, none of them had done the entire Idaho border section. So that's kind of cool. I have run into a few other redliners out here, including one who was way more strict than me. He said he was northbound and said he did absolutely every mile of the red line, which that's pretty cool, because that ain't easy. This trail seems predicated on the fact that most people aren't going to do most of the miles, because otherwise most people aren't going to make it through the weather window. I'm going to see if I even make it through the weather window. In other news, it looks like the carries are going to be a little easier. I'm still intending to kind of minimize town stops, though honestly, considering I go through, my 20K plus a chunk of my 10K in 6 days, that'll take about, 5-6 hours to recharge fully. And I would rather do like a full day of hiking, get into town, and then recharge overnight versus have to do what I did in South Pass City. I'm just not a big fan of sitting around for that long in town if I can avoid it. If I'm only partial, if I'm down like part of my 20K and I can sit and eat somewhere and, I can work it that way. But I just need to be efficient. We've controlled costs pretty well so far just because of all the town avoidance. So I can't go crazy, but at least it's not like, oh no, we are going to be in financial ruin here if I go into Breckenridge and get a hotel. I do miss the hiker rate $50 to $80 hotel rooms along the AT, because basically 100 to 140 seems to be the norm in a lot of these resort towns. Steamboat is a ski town, so it's going to be more expensive. Obviously, the various lodges and things up in Montana. And that's just kind of the cost of doing business here, unless you want to stay in a campground. But being somebody who has lived in a campground for a couple of years while I'm off trail, those can be a mixed bag. And quite frankly, I would rather camp out of town than, you know, pay 10 or 20 bucks to stay at a KOA and be kept up by rowdy partiers a good chunk of the night. And this is a trailhead I didn't want to camp near last night. Just have a tendency to be noisy. And if you're going to have any people problems, they're a lot more likely near a road. Those potatoes were slightly less than satisfying breakfast. Also, when my water froze, I didn't have quite enough to fully rehydrate it. So it was a little bit crunchy. I'm trying not to think about Mexican food at the moment, which means every time my mind wanders, I end up thinking about Mexican food. Well, that is something. Okay, 10:20 in the morning. Now I just need to get a hitch. I really want to go in right away, but there's a 2-mile road walk. So I would rather do that today rather than at the very start. Plus, I guess it might be easier to get a ride out of the trailhead. And it's just 2 miles. Considering it's a road walk, it should take me about 30 minutes or so. Okay, so on closer inspection, I'm not done with my road walk. This is my hitch spot, but looks like the trail's gonna go along that for a while. Comments say everywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, so we'll see.
Fortunately, I was only there about 20 minutes until a former thru-hiker stopped and took me into town. Priorities being what they were, I had the guy drop me off straight at Mexican food where I ate some more, and then had dessert. And I was finally full again, for now. When Jen had looked into hotel rooms, she decided to splurge a bit and book me at the Marriott Residence Inn. After all the slightly less than wonderful hotels in, Lima and Rollins, this felt kind of odd.
The advantage of nicer hotels, nicer laundry. Tater's got me set up in a very nice hotel, which has made it very hard to motivate myself to go out and do my resupply, rather than sit around said very nice hotel. The real struggle of long distance hiking, trying to figure out what the hell the liquor laws are in whichever state you happen to be at. And ish. This one's only 4 days, so it looks like it's going to be a little easier.
And after getting all my chores done, I ordered a pizza, opened the wine, and settled in for an amazingly pleasant night. At least until the wee hours.
Well, this could be going a little better. I was getting ready to leave, but I've been feeling nauseous since early this morning, and it hasn't gotten any better. Called to try and extend the hotel. They jacked the rate up. Looked at relocating across town, but I'm really feeling bad for the moment, so I'm kind of stuck.
So with what felt like little choice, I extended the hotel and spent the day in bed, feeling very close to vomiting, really hoping I hadn't picked up noro or something.